Hello and welcome to our Minecraft Hardcore world. I'm Jim Mountain and this is episode 10 from our world. Man, I can't believe that we've managed to, survive this long in our world. We have had a few close calls and we've also been playing it a little bit safe, which has, paid off for us in a bit. We've been able to do quite a nice bit of work over in our base area where we were doing those sugarcane and bamboo farm redesigns to make them actually look pretty and actually work in our village area. As well as, start clearing off and making a bit of a plan for what we're going to do over here in our first project, which is this village, which is going to sort of be the archive of our journey and our story throughout this world. But, it is looking quite plain as our entrance as we come in from over, our base area into this section. And I wanted to get the stables built up over here so our horse actually has somewhere to live and stay while we're working over here, as well as having some of those mules, donkeys and llamas, because they're going to be able to have chests on them and we can carry our storage around because, I've decided that after this village project, our first one, is when we're going to do the dragon fight. So until we finish up this, we've got no access to any shulker boxes or elytra, so yeah, we're going to be relying quite heavily on our companions that can move stuff quickly for us. I want to put in our stables right here. So I want to get that done before anything else today. So that way we can actually design and have our path coming in so we can sort of map out a bit more where our houses are going to line up with this pathway. I wouldn't mind also trying to get Mark's house in over in that sort of space behind us. Not yet move him in here because this area is nowhere near lit up enough to prevent any mobs from coming in and attacking our villagers. So we're going to keep them more safe in that little square area in the center of the village. So I think I'm going to get all of that done there, and then I'll bring you back in when hopefully we have our stables built up. Now, for those of you who are thinking what's the stables going to look like, I'm pretty sure it was last episode when we went to our creative test world and designed it up. So what I might do is, if I'm good enough, I'll whack up a little picture of what we're going to try and have it look like, and then when we fade that out, we should have our finished product up over here. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright guys, so as you can kind of tell, it's been a few days now since that last clip, and we have some houses popping up. Now, we do not have our nice little over peak window coming from our sort of house to the, is that the right of me? Yes, to the right of me. Because, well, it's taken us that long to get some kelp blocks that I just wasn't able to actually design it in yet. And all of our roofs kind of look a bit floating, but I'm just going to move on and we will get kelp over the time of, this episode, I hope. But if we come down, we can now see that we have in our new houses. Now, I am still planning to put in the road from in here, and that's something that we're going to touch on in a minute or two. But for now, let's go through and have a bit of a look. Now, I have built up Mark's house over here. Now, it is a bit different to what we designed in the creative test world, but I kind of like it because it's allowed us to be able to go up and actually give us an entranceway down here and then to lead off over here, which has actually inspired me. And yeah, I just realized I didn't put the trap doors to make the little garden box under the window. Oh well. But it inspired me to think maybe we should build this into like a watchtower or like an archer's point, because Mark is an archer and he works with bowmen and all that sort of stuff. The right word? I don't know. Anyway, and we did mention when we were scouting out this area that this has a nice little lookout over into the sort of the other island areas over there. And this would be, I just think, a really cool spot to build a bit of a tower. And then we can also have our walkway down here, and this might be the area that we actually train our archers. We may even train, a swordsman. We might put a blacksmith down here or something like that. But I'm thinking this might be where we sort of have that area that we can protect and defend our village. So if we come on up the stairs and we come into the house, none of these places have any sort of interior design, and I haven't put any beds here because I don't want any more villagers to breed. So when we move the villagers to their new house, that's when I'm going to move the beds around. So until then, we've just sort of got the map out of, we'll have a bedroom in here, we've got all the house space around this area, and yeah, I think Mark's really going to like it. Now, you can see around these stairwells, we've got them over there as well, that we have them just coming down a little bit shorter, and that's because I've got over here some stuff we'll be going through, but I've got the lanterns, which I've been collecting up, and that's sort of where I want to hang a bit of the torch, or the lighting source for these areas, and make it look a little bit, unique and stand out a bit, and that's kind of why I left one there. So let's put these back and just sort of go through our houses, and the next one is our stables, which this didn't take me that long to actually build. Oh, I've got one black wool, damn it. But what took the longest is actually getting the kelp for the roof, as I said, The farm we built works perfectly, but it's a bit slow. So I think that skeleton spawner that I saw a few episodes back when we were down sort of doing our strip mine area, I think I'm going to be setting that up so I can get some bone meal and sort of speed up the process just a tad. While we are looking over my shoulder, another little thing that I would like to point out is these little upside down stairs and adding in the wall blocks. I really love how it's sort of given a bit more depth to that flat surface. Yeah, I've done it around a few places, even on some of the brickwork, which we will be able to see shortly. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out while I was looking over my shoulder. So as you can see in here, we have our trusty steed already. He wants me to move over his cow friend that he's been sharing the pen with over there, so I think we'll get that done for you, buddy. But we've also got to now go get ourselves a donkey. We've got to get ourselves, then breed those the donkey and the horse, to get ourselves our mule. And then we'll get some llamas, which is in the savannah just over the mountain. Look at that, that's a nice sort of just view from the stables. Now, if we come over here, you can see that I've done up again that sort of stone work holding up the staircase. I don't know if it's just because I haven't done any decoration around it yet, but I'm not too sold on it. I think it's too grey, and I might need to come in with a bit of the mossy cobblestone just to sort of break that up a bit. But just like the Creative Test World, we just blacked it up. I'm not sure what I want to put here, but I was thinking I might put in like a wool farm or something, but at this point I still don't want to put anything really in here. Just want it to be a nice facade for our sort of stables that we've got down below. Now, if we come over here, this space really just looked like it needed something. So I'm not too sure which villager or profession will actually take this house. It is close to where we've got the top part of the farmland, but I kind of want to build the farmhouse down there just past the tree. So this could be, maybe one of our librarians, or one of our stonemasons guys, or even our nitwit. He might want a house in here too. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. Again, trying to break away from just that flat surface. I've added in a bit of a garden box, which will decorate up a little bit more and add some leaves, and if I get some vines in here and try and, spruce it up a little bit. But yeah, as you can see here, we've included again the upside down stairs and the walls, just to sort of give it a bit of it looks like the wall's been there for a while, maybe have chipped away a little bit, or the bricks have sort of smoothed around, but I don't know, I think it just adds to sort of the character of the build, which is all taken away by the fact that there is no roof on this yet. But yeah, we're getting there. Now over here is a build which I'm not going to quite tell you what's behind the wall yet. So that will be removed, and we will go inside there, but I think we might save that for next episode. So this is what I've been up to. It has taken me quite some time, just purely because of the kelp. But I think we're now up onto the next stage, which is putting in our paths and decorating it a bit, so that we don't have so much empty space and all that sort of thing just around this section here. So I'm going to sleep away this rain, because it's just annoying. And then when we come back in, let's start working up on the pathway. Alright, back in a sec. I can't sleep quite yet, so let's bring over our horse's friend, Mr. Cow. Alright, Mr. Cow, let me just lead you up, so I'll make it... Nope, come in, yep. Alright, now we break these away. And come on, I'll take you to your friend. Alright, so we're starting to get in some new territory. This is our little pumpkin patch. I'm starting to think that by the time I get you to your friend, we should be able to sleep. So come on, up to the stables. Yeah, it's definitely going to be nighttime, so quickly. Now, will you come in with just the one? Oh, you will. Perfect. I brought over your friend, Mr. Cow. Alright, now it's time for me to sleep. Oh, I'm sorry, pig. Oh. I think I just broke up a friendship. Oh, I gotta sleep. I said that, skeleton. Run! Sorry, Mr. Pig. Alright, we have slept away the rain now, and we also got our cow, safely over here with our horse. I think I ruined a friendship in the process, but these guys were meant to be. Yeah. See, they're happy together. All right. So if we come over here, which I need to work out perfectly how I'm going to set up the bridging and the sort of road that leads from our home base to our sort of village here, which really needs to have a name. But, so what I'm thinking is we're just coming along here, and what I'm wanting to do is break up all of this dirt and replace it with the coarse dirt. So it looks like it's been walked over and that sort of stuff here, and the grass just won't grow over it. I want to make sure that we lead them all up into our pathways and that sort of stuff. And I know that just being the one type of block, it might have a little bit of, just plainness to it. However, though, I think that once we find ourselves a lush cave, or even just manually start making some rooted dirt, that might make it, a little bit more interesting. Now, I obviously don't want to have it all nice and straight, so I'll come back around here and break it up just a tad and go through it with some more coarse dirt. And in some spots, I might even just sort of add in some patches of like path block. That way, it's like, oh, okay, so you can see that it is dented in, walked in, used up a fair bit. So let's add in a few more around here, and then I think we'll get to the next step. Alright, so now we have a pretty good sort of basic layout now for our sort of path blocks. We've got a few of those sort of blocks placed in there with the coarse dirt, and as I said, I'd love to get a bit of the rooted dirt in there as well, but we just don't have that at the moment. So let's move on to the next sort of part where we can go around with our spruce fences and sort of give things a bit of a border. So sort of like up here, for example, we really don't want our villagers to sort of try and, go for a little fly or something. So we might just branch off some of these things here like this, and then build up something over here that sort of prevents them from continuing on the pathway down there. And then for now, let's just chuck in some torches, and when we've got enough lanterns, we'll be able to come through and replace it. So something like that just adds a nice little border around there. Probably even set something up just like here too. It doesn't need to be a full complete sort of fencing area sort of thing, because it's more of just a bit of the looks. And basically once the villagers are in sync with their workstation, they've got their bed, they really won't travel too far away from it. It's more or less making sure everything's lit up enough so mobs don't come in and interfere with them doing their thing. So we'll also come off along here and maybe even meet up a few along the pathway. And yeah, it just sort of gives a nice framing. Now, why can't I pick up that torch? There we go. Now, I've chosen to go for the spruce fences because over in our base area, we've got a lot of the leaf blocks as our sort of fence work and our sort of guidance around there. And so I thought this would be a nice little, a bit of a different breakup from here. And now just looking around here, we probably should add in a pathway, so that way we can actually come down along and maybe make use of this space over here. So obviously we'll have a bit of torching over on this section here to keep things lit up. And then while we're working on it, just sort of come through and be like, reminder to put some, oh, there we go, I finally found one of them. Put some sort of coarse dirt over here, so that way we know we want to build something over here in the sort of the fancying up decoration stage. Alright, so we've got our little marking down there, and then we've got a way to come around here. Now I'm thinking that what I might do is put some form of little garden or flower bed there. So I might just mark this off as like a, a no-go area sort of thing, even though villagers will still find their way stuck in there somehow. Now we've got this great big opening over here, which I really want to close off somehow, but I don't think going a full fence sort of lining around the whole thing will do the job well enough, because as you see here, we've got space, they can just walk over. And I'm pretty sure, even though this is not going to have anything that they can go to, even if they do, they're probably just going to come and jump over it anyway. So I think what I might do is I'll put it there for looks, but if you see it gone one episode, just know that I decided I didn't like it anymore and I took it down. But yeah, it gives us a nice little spot to keep up a bit of light. Let's put torches in the right spot. And it also does keep a bit of the protection of anything down there coming up. But that is a pretty cool little gorge. Goes up into the mountain from memory. Nice. Don't laugh at me. Haha. You see, it does work. The sheep can't get in. Stupid sheep. Alright, so that's not too bad, but I mean, as I said, I still think if the villagers want to get over that fence, they're going to get over that fence. There's nothing I can do to stop them. But, well, I spun around too many times then. But, as the sheep just proved, it will keep mobs out from entering this way. So, I like that, because yeah, they can't get up on there, that's a wall. So yeah, no, that might help us out. And then obviously over here is going to need, I think I might even put a tree or something here. So, might come back in the decoration stage and put a tree there. Now, what about this space here? Well, I'm generally not too sure. What might be good is actually to put in like a wagon or like a wagon. Words. So, we might put that there too. So, instead of fencing off and closing it, let's maybe do something like this. So that way, it's like it's got a guided spot there, so it knows that these are the gateways to go through to park in the vehicle here or the wagon here, and you can hitch up your horse or something over here instead of putting it in the stable for when you're ready to get going. So that might be alright there, and then I kind of want to include the fence over this side a bit to really push us and guide us down to our pathway over here, which I think we might tackle maybe later on or just next time, but I'm really just focusing on our entrance up here. So we've also got now, what was the guide up area of here where I was talking about putting some like of the hanging crops, like, you know, our vines and that sort of stuff, but I'm not too sure if I want to do that now. I do definitely want to put a house here, so just like we marked up over there, I am going to give us that sort of option of, you know, put something leading up here. So that might just be that marking there because I'm kind of cutting everything off at this point here. So now that we've gone through and put in all of our sort of fences in the places where we can with what we've got to work with, I think it's time that maybe now we step on to stage 3, which is giving a bit of decoration with just sort of, you know, a bit of the props stuff that we'll talk about. So that'd be the wagon and everything. So if we come over into my barrel here, I've got some oak stairs. I'm going to need some spruce logs, and we've got our crafting table there. Perfect. What I'm going to do is try and build up a little bit of a wagon. Now, I did build up a few of these over in Foxwood, which was our old sort of realm that we played on with our friends, but I haven't built one for a while. So lining it up here, let's go kind of want, that's not a good start because the wheel won't even fit in there. Let's line up there. And now let's try and set up our first tire if it's going to work for us. Like so. Alright, so something like this. We've got a nice little cute wag. We've got our like, obviously it's not in the right position, but it's like we've got our grate down here so we can climb on up, and we've got the represent one over there. We've got our little chair so we can sit down as we're being pulled along by our horse. We've got a few storage barrels at the back there. I've put the lantern on this one, and there's the little glitch that you can do where if you sort of hold your open button and run past the chest a barrel, you can have it open and it sort of bugs itself out and stays open. And I love doing that and putting lanterns on top of it so it looks like it's got a bit of the shadow. So I'll just close that back up. And yeah, so that's all that is. And I really like how it's just casted a little shadow. Now, this doesn't look quite impressive without a noble steed to be pulling it. And I think I saw one just over here before. So let me just grab ourselves a lead and let's see if he's still over here. Not cows. Donkey, there. Now, is this a donkey that I've had love me? Oh, well, welcome to the family. You're going to be a prop. I'm going to get you to stay over here because I don't want Mr. Cow to, no, Mr. Cow. Stay there. You have a carrot. You have a carrot. We have a baby! Alright, now I'm going to put you back in your house. Hi, Mr. Cow. Nothing happened here. I'll take that lead off you now. Now, where'd the baby go? Come on. Got a lovely house for you. We're going to put in some food in a little bit, so, you'll be right at home. But for now, just stay here for me. Alright, so we've managed to get ourselves our baby mule and a donkey, which we're going to use the donkey to pull our brand new car. I didn't mean to place the torch. Come on. Come with... No. No. What? I've got the lead in my hand. Why does it look like you have the lead in the ground? Can I shift click it? No. Dude, what are you doing? You're tripping over your own shoelaces. Does he think it's still there? There we go. Wow, that was a bug. Right, come on. Right, you get a carrot. I didn't mean to pull the sword, but he knew what happened. Alright, so I think that makes it a little bit more believable, except our ride keeps running away and he'll probably spend more time in the seat. But, yeah, that's one little bit of a decoration thing complete. Now, if I run over to this barrel here, I do believe, yes, I have some dripstone. And I want to grab some leaves, because if you remember, if you remember in that creative test world, we had in there a little custom tree which I mucked around with. It was nothing fancy, but it was made using this dripstone block. So I'm thinking maybe if we kick it off over here, something just over here, so maybe come up 3, then branch this up 1, 2, kick this one over here, let's go up, let's make a little branch out over here, like so, that's good, ow, fall damage, and then come on up over this way, maybe one more up here. Yeah. And then let's come up around the other side of it. Just whack in some of our leaf blocks and let's see if this looks alright. Alright, so, you know what, I don't really hate that tree. I think it looks alright. Maybe even if we put a few more in, it might, really come to life around these areas. I'm going to take away this torch because I did hide one underneath that leaf block over there, and I'm thinking I might do the same just here too, just so a little bit of extra lighting around the area never hurts. So yeah, I don't mind that. Maybe if we try and include another one of them just here. So we go over here 1 and up 2, like that. This one I want to make a little bit different. Yeah. Let's do something like that. Maybe bring that one up 1 more. And then come up a bit. Do I have enough? I don't have enough dripstone before I go up here. So let me go grab a little bit more dripstone and then we can finish off this tree. Now, let's have a stand back and a bit of a look. Ooh. Now that's not too bad. I need a little bit more leafage coverage on this side here, I think, which might actually benefit from just doing another branch. Alright, let's step back and have a look at our tree now. Yeah, I think it needs, obviously, maybe some vines on it, but not, the glow lichen actually might work nice on this. I can't put it on the leaves, but yeah, there's a few. Alright, let me go get some more leaves and thicken it out a little bit. I don't have any glow lichen at the moment, but I've been thinking I want to get some because I think it might look cool on the roof. Don't walk off the edge. So yeah, let me just fill out these leaves just a little bit more, and then yeah, we'll bring it back in hopefully to a finished tree. I also think I might chuck one here as well. So when we come back, we'll just try and have that tree finished. Let's try and whack a tree there, and I might leave it at that because I don't want to overdo it. So let me quickly get these done. Alright, so as you can see behind me, we managed to finish up this little bit of a tree, get it all nice and sort of... I tried to do a bit of like a vine wrapping around it with some of the leaf blocks, and you know, it's one of those things that it's like art. The further away you are and you observe it, the better it looks sometimes. But I did also go around and I put up 2 more trees. So I added this one here, which we said we were going to do, and we had another horse come and join us, but you know, Mr. Cow didn't want to share, so this guy's out here. And we added in this one over here, which I really do like. I think it's a bit different to the other ones, where all these ones are a bit more of a thinner, higher reaching tree, and this one's just like, you know, it's a little bit, it's still the same height kind of, but it's more fuller, it's got a thicker growth about it, and I kind of like that sort of difference between the two leading up for our entranceway over here. But we are now up to stage 4, which is the final stage of sort of these decorating areas. And it's the final stage because, well, it never really ends. It's where we start placing down some bone meal, we put in some chests and all that sort of stuff to form a little bit of clutter and a bit of life in the area that makes it look like it's, you know, used and grown and not so flat and clean like it is at the moment. So what we're going to do is go around a few areas and place a bit of bone meal. No, okay, you like the flower? You don't like the flower? I can take the flower? Thank you. And we'll prune it up a little bit and maybe even get some of the double high ones, just so it sort of looks a bit more overgrown. It looks a bit more lifelike. And yeah, I really do think that this adds a bit. We could do it another way by getting some shears and, you know, obviously shearing up all bits of grass and then manually placing them down, which I've done over in the base. But that does take a little bit more time, and, you know, with this way here we get a bit more of the random factor involved, which I kind of appreciate. So yeah, we're just going to go around and sort of bone mealing the area a little bit, maybe even getting up some of the 2 tall ferns and trimming back some of the areas where we don't necessarily need that much sort of stuff, as well as some of the flowers I think I'll take out and I'll manually place in, you know, what flowers I want to go where. But as I also said, we're going to do some of the extra little cluttery sort of stuff, so things like adding in a bit of a table sort of set up over here, so we might have one there, and we'll have a seat there. We get ourselves our, what's that, the oak fence. We get that, and do I have it? I don't at the moment, so then we'll place on top of that an oak trap door, and then we've got ourselves a little bit of a seated table area that we can sort of sit here and overlook at the fields. Then we might also even include a few sort of chests just randomed around a bit, even include the barrels as well. And I think this sort of adds nicely to a bit of the build clutter of stuff that can be placed around things. Oh, there like that. Okay, that won't quite work, but you could sort of get the idea. There we go. Just keep pushing it till you get it. But, you know, and then we go around, we might decide we don't like that there, so we tear it down and do a little bit of extra work around there. We've also got some bamboo vines and some hay bales. Now the hay bales I think need to be close to our stables because it's kind of like the food source for our, you know, our horses. So we might chuck one down in there like so. I'm not going to put them up so that they can actually walk up above it because I don't want any of these guys escaping. We can also have it dug into the ground a bit like it's been stepped into the ground and walked in as we've been in and out of the area. We might even place in a few just around here so that we know we've marked it up with an area of some sort, and throw in a few vines around the place because as I said, especially for this area here where it's very the one colour, this does help break it up a little bit by giving it that greener tinge and just sort of, you know, I don't know, it makes it look a little prettier, I think. But yeah, so this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going around, placing a few things like this in the areas, seeing what works and what I like, and then sort of, yeah, playing around with the ideas. So I wanted to bring you in and show you that little part because we've gone through all the other stages. What I think I'm going to do now is eat before I die of starvation, sleep away the night, and I'm just going to go around and decorate up this area. Then when I bring you back in, I think we'll show off some of the great design work I've done. And yeah, and then I think it'll be time to wrap up the episode. I really wish we were able to get enough kelp to finish off these roofs because it does sort of take away a bit from all the building that we've done and the decorating around the area. But unfortunately, it's just something we can't quite help at the moment. Well, I think definitely for next time we're going to get that skeleton spawner going so we can get bone meal just on tap. Alright, so I'll bring it back in when this is all done. Alright guys, so a little bit more time has passed now and I have gone around bone mealing a bit of the grass, putting down some sugarcane around some waterlogged leaf blocks, which I've put both off to the side and into the pathway, which I really think it just adds that nice bit of more earthier sort of environment. Plus it goes really well with the fact that it's been raining quite often in the world at the moment and it's been very irritating. But we've managed to fix up our little table over here. We moved away our chest clutter and I do still have some torches around because I haven't quite had enough I'm not going to be able to say the word this episode. I don't have enough lanterns yet to put around everywhere, but I've tried. But as you can see here, we've managed to make up a nice little pathway. It leads over to a little workbench and some storage over here, as well as farming up a bit of sugarcane, and I've got to bring some kelp down here so we can farm it while we're working over here, not just while we're at our base. But I really do like how this little corner sort of come up just from the idea of, there was the blank space there and what could we add, and I'm really happy with how this has sort of turned up. But back onto the path, you can see that I've added in some stone buttons and some spruce buttons, purely just to look like little rocks and pebbles that have been kicked up around on the ground. Same with the carpet, although in some spots I'm using it to hide some lighting because everywhere was up really nice except this one spot, and I kept getting zombies spawning here, and well, if we want free-ranged villagers, we can't have zombies. So, the brown carpet worked out pretty nicely, and yeah, I'm happy with that result. Now, I did forget to treat this flower box, but I'll get to that sort of off camera, and I know that we don't have the kelp in yet, so the roofs still don't look quite finished, but I'm just sort of hoping that once we get the kelp in, it all really does tie in and I can get the bamboo to stop growing through. But yeah, no, I think everything is tied in really nicely. I'm going to need to get some string so that way we can sort of have these all at different heights as well as the bamboo and, not have everything sort of just massively growing upwards, but it's more of a decorative thing there because we're not going to be harvesting any of this bamboo or sugarcane for, farming wise, so we've got to probably have it up at the right height, which we can do with some string. I've hidden in a little crafting table over here because I kept running around to try and find one, so I've made it look like this little barrel sort of holds it in there, as well as added in our sort of gate back in there to lead in for where we've got our wagon, and I tried to sort of mark in where the tyre marks would have been as it's come in and out, and our donkey's actually been pretty well behaved. It's stayed in the spot pretty nicely, so I'm happy with that. And then as we come around to our final little bit here at the exit, we've added in a little beehive to our tree, which, now that we've got some vines and that growing around it, I'm really happy with it. And all of these sort of custom trees, I think, is what I'm going to be putting around this area, because I was surprised how cool the dripstone sort of went with the oak leaves. And yeah, I'm really happy with this idea, and I think this is what this village will have. I've also now, because I had no idea what to put over here, so I decided just to expand the crop field all the way up to the house, and then sort of, yeah, that was it. I did continue on the spruce fencing all the way down to sort of outline where the farm field is, and I really do like that idea. I just ran out of it at the time to continue on down the path, but I think I'm going to be putting that in sort of between episodes. But guys, that is the end of today's sort of episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We've gotten quite a bit built up, and we started out with this whole area just being flat. You know, we had nothing here, and now we've got 4 buildings, 4 custom trees, something that just, it's really set the whole sort of style and the feel for this village, which is really nice. I'm looking so forward to building much more in this little village before we finish up and take on the dragon. So, you know, I hope you guys are as keen as I am. But if you've made it this far in the video, thank you very, very much. I know this one has been a little bit later, you know, being released than all the others, but, you know, I'm glad that you guys have stuck around and, you know, made it this far into the video. So, thank you. But, until next time, bye!